We'll now install a Wedi pre-made soap niche. These are designed to go between 16-inch centered studs. Use the niche as a template for making your cut lines on the wallboard. Cut and remove the wallboard so it can receive the niche. Apply sealant to all 4 sides of the wallboard prior to inserting the niche into place. You also need to use fasteners on each side to secure the niche. Apply sealant to the surface joint and trowel flat. Mark where you want to install the adjustable niche shelf and apply sealant prior to installing the foam shelf. The sealant acts as a very strong adhesive and will secure the shelf in place. You also must apply surface sealant to all seams and trowel flat. Here we're going to install a suspended corner bench by first marking the location. This bench is pre-constructed out of 2 layers of 2-inch wallboard and is spaced with a layer of wallboard on the front edge. You'll want to generously apply sealant to the bench edge on the 2 sides being glued against the walls. Firmly press the bench into place. By applying more pressure, you're increasing the adhesion to hold the bench into place. For extra reinforcement, you'll want to apply mesh tape to the top seam, then skim coat modified thin set to the taped areas. Another layer of mesh tape is applied between the underside of the seat and the wall. You'll also want to apply more sealant to all inside corners of the complete shower system and trowel flat. This will act as a surface flashing in addition to the depth of seal between all parts. Use all excess sealant to cover all fasteners or apply with your sealant gun. Make sure all fasteners are completely covered, including the complete washer tab, so no metal is exposed. Constructing a custom built-in bench is easy using the Wedi 2-inch building panel. Using a skill saw or hand saw, cut 45-degree angles to the appropriate length. Here we've cut the 2-inch board to 18 inches tall for our desired bench height. Now we're using scraps also cut to 18 inches tall and gluing them into the back corner as a ledge support for the bench top we'll be installing. Apply sealant generously to the full edges at the jambs and sill. Now, fully compress the front panel into place firmly to gain good adhesion and seal. We're using mesh tape and thin set on the bottom joint as to allow the moisture from the cavity of the bench to escape through the thin set. It's easiest to dry fit the bench top to scribe the exact shape for your front cut. Now, glue the top into place, and when it's in position, press the front edge down to create the appropriate top slope for water runoff. In essence, you're using the sealant as a wet shim to create the needed slope. Finally, apply your sealant to all edges and trowel flat. Now, you're ready to cut the full foam curb to fit. In this case, we're going to make a 90-degree return to the outside of the pan to accommodate the Wedi wheelchair ramp we're using at the entry. This ramp is cut to length using a razor knife or saw. We'll need to cut back the Wedi foam curb return to properly nest the ramp. You always want a horizontal sealant joint between the curb and pan and curb to ramp. Do a dry fit to ensure a proper fit. Now you will want to thin set the subfloor so it's ready to receive the ramp and curb. You'll also want to apply thin set to the underside of the curb parts and the ramp prior to installing. Be sure that no thin set is in the area where sealant will be joining all the parts, because thin set in this area will allow moisture to wick through and leak. Apply a large bead or two of sealant to the edges you're joining to the base. Also, apply Wedi sealant to the wallboard to receive the curb and ramp and the bead on the base edge. Firmly press the ramp and curb parts into place. Apply more sealant to the 45-degree cut edge of the curb and install the last curb part. A final surface sealant joint will be applied to all inside corners and troweled flat. As you can see, Wedi is highly customizable, and once you learn how to use all the many Wedi products, you'll be able to create highly custom showers that are 100% watertight. In just a few hours, you're ready for tiling.